హలో సార్, పవన్ సార్. పవన్ సార్,
మేడం చెప్పండి.
వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తుందా సార్?
వినిపిస్తుంది మేడం, వినిపిస్తుంది.
ఓన్లీ 62.
ఒక 1 minute వెయిట్ చేద్దాం మేడం.
పవన్ సార్, పీపీటీ కనిపిస్తుందా?
ఎస్ మేడం, కనిపిస్తుంది.
Like
Hello. Good afternoon to all.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is my voice is audible to all?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
In previous class, we have discussed about key concepts of object-oriented programming. What are they? Objects, classes, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. These are different types of concepts of OOP. Okay, there are number of types of concepts. Each concept provides some facilities to user. Next, today we are going to discuss about what is object-oriented technology. Already I told you, in real world, each person or each living thing is considered as a object. Each object performs certain operations. Now let us consider any institution, any educational institution. Educational institution has two types of faculty, teaching faculty and non-teaching faculty. Teaching faculty perform some operations, non-teaching faculty perform some operations. Yes, and teaching faculty and non-teaching faculty collaborate with principal and management. Okay. Uh, a institution has different departments, number of departments, IT, CSC, EEE, EC, library. All these are different types of departments. So each department is communicated with other department and performs some operations. Okay. So how it is possible, how one department to another department we can communicate through the objects. Okay. Again, each department has several students. For example, IT department has second year students, third year students, and final year students. So each department performs some operations, some activities. So in IT department we have 3 classes: second year class, third year class, and final year class. Each class has different objects. Here object means students. Consider this diagram. In a classroom, there are different students and faculty. So faculty and students are considered as objects. These objects communicate with other departments. For example, here I am taking computer lab as another class and library as another class. So communicating with these classes through the objects and passing information to one class to another class. In real world, objects are called entities. Okay. This is object-oriented technology. Objects are very related to real world, which are known as entities. Each object performs multiple operations. A class, once we create a class, you can generate multiple objects to perform multiple operations. Next, what are the disadvantages of convolution programming? Convolution programming means non-OOP languages are called convolutional programming languages, such as COBOL, Fortran, C, etc. We don't know about COBOL and Fortran. We know about C programming language. C programming language is a POP, procedure-oriented programming language. It has several limitations. It does not support objects concept. Okay. In C, larger programs are divided into functions. Okay. Functions. So in functions, we are using global variables for accessing the data. So we can't provide any security to the given data. In C programming language, we only concentrate on things, what we are going to do. Only we concentrate on things, not on data. We can't provide any security. Just we are doing some operations to provide a solution to a given problem. So in a given program, we have number of modules. So number of modules access global data. It is difficult to identify which function going to use which variable? Which global variable? This is the problem. Consider this first diagram. Is it visible? Is it visible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
First figure 1.3. Yes. It is the basic flow of functions in POP languages. Compulsory, we can start our program execution from main onwards. A main function can call n number of functions, and a function can call itself and also call other functions. The function called itself is known as recursion. The function can call another functions also. Consider this example, main function. Main function calls three functions, function A, function B, function C. Again, function A calls function D and function F. Main function calls function A. Once we call function A, control goes to the function A definition. Again, in function A body, again we call function D as well as function F. Next, second function B. B function can call function D, function G, function E. So a function can call n number of other functions. Again, C function call E, H. Sorry. Again, E function calls H and also G. So there is no limitation. One function can call n number of other functions. All these functions are accessed global data only. Now you can see the second diagram. Sharing of data by functions. So all these number of functions A, B, C, D, E, F to H, all these functions share global data. Function A, function B, function C, and so on up to function H. All variables accessing global variables. When we are using global variables, we are not providing any security to given data. Here we are using global variables as well as local variables. Local variables limited to a particular function. What is the example I said in the previous class for this? Hello? Hello?
మేడం వినిపిస్తుంది.
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్, డౌట్ అడుగుతున్నాను. In last class, I told you one example. In a class, we have data members and method functions. Those are limited to particular class. Those are nothing but local variables. Local variables are limited to particular function. We have some XYZ variables in function A. Those are not visible to function B. But we have some PQRS as global variables. PQRS global variables are accessed to any function in a given program, which is either A, B, or C, whatever it is. We can access different types of functions, but we are not providing any security. Huge programs are divided into small programs. Already I told you, we have any larger program in C, that program is divided into smaller units called modules or functions. Okay. You say any example. Are you doing any string programs, string related programs? string concatenation, string length, string reverse. Can anyone? Hello? Roll number 74. Roll number 7. Previously, you done any programs on functions?
Yes, ma'am.
Which programs?
Function calling,
Hmm.
call by value and call by reference, ma'am.
Those are parameter. Those are
Parameter passing.
techniques. I'm not asking parameter passing techniques. Are you done any programs?
Yes, ma'am.
Which program? In arrays or in functions? For example, write a program to read an array and print array variables. We want to read some variables to an array and print that element values. So I'm creating here two functions. First one is read function. Second one is display function. Wait, I'm showing. Yes, whiteboard is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Here I'm taking two functions. Read n is the first function in main. For example, I'm taking an example. I'm taking read a of n display of a comma n. So here I'm taking a as array variable, n as size of the array. So I'm declaring these two variables as global variables. Int n comma n. So here a and n both are global variables. These two variables are accessed in any function in a given program. Yes, right? Is it correct or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So like this we can divide the larger program into smaller units to reducing the complexity of a given program. But it is sometimes gives up problems. Okay. Again. Yes. We can divide the functions. Here I am taking main function, read, display function. Read function, display function. Read function and display function access same global variables a comma n. Here I am taking only two functions, so no problem. But I am taking n number of functions. It is a problem to find which function is going to access global variables. Okay. Already I told you these points. Fuse programs are divided into smaller units known as functions, and no importance to security of data. Only we are giving importance to what we are going to do to provide a solution to the given problem. We can concentrate on solution, not on security of data. And next, data passes globally from function to function. We are accessing global variables from one function to another function. Next, So these are the some drawbacks of conventional programming. Okay. Next one. So what are the advantages of object-oriented programming language? Already we learned about key concepts of OOP and what are the disadvantages of conventional program. So now, what are the advantages of OOP? Can anyone tell me what are the advantages? What are the advantages?
Security,
Hello? Roll number 93.
ma'am. Security, ma'am.
Security and
Security and
can anyone 10? Roll number 10. Roll number 10. Are you in class or not?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
We can if we can redesign the program code and we can continue the previous defined class, ma'am.
Say again. Say again.
Yes, ma'am. We can eliminate the redundant program code and we
Yes.
can continue our previous program, ma'am.
Okay, right. By using which concept?
Using inheritance.
Yes,
Yes.
right. Using inheritance concept, we can eliminate the redundant code. Okay. Next one, we can provide security to given data. By using which concept? Using data abstraction and encapsulation, we are providing security to given data. Okay. Next one, we can extend and reuse some code to the next program or another part of program. See, OOP is the first software programming language to define new softwares. Here we are using objects to communicate with other classes. Okay. It supports OOP supports classes, objects, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. All these are advantages. Using inheritance, we can reuse the code. We can reduce the redundancy. Next, polymorphism. In polymorphism, we are using function overloading and operator overloading. And next one, encapsulation. Encapsulation means binding up of data and functions. And next, data abstraction. Using data abstraction, we are providing security to the given data. Next one, okay. Next one, some object-oriented languages. Now we are studying C++ as object-oriented programming language. Other than C++, what are different types of object-oriented programming languages? In object-oriented programming languages, they are pure object-oriented and non-pure, means it supports non-OOP languages also. Some languages completely supports only OOP, and some other languages supports both OOP as well as POP, procedure oriented and object oriented. First, we are taking properties: encapsulation, inheritance, multiple inheritance, polymorphism, binding, genericity, class libraries, garbage collection, persistence, concurrence. All these are properties of OOP. These properties are supported by different programming languages. Some properties does not supported by language. So pure object oriented programming languages, that is Java, Simula, Smalltalk, Eiffel, Java. In Java, there are different types of Java versions are available. Next, object-based languages. This is not purely object-oriented. It supports OOP and non-OOP. So first property, encapsulation. Encapsulation property supported by Java, Simula, Smalltalk, Eiffel, Java, and Ada. Next, inheritance. Inheritance also supported by all pure object-oriented languages, but does not supported by Ada. Why? Because it is completely not a pure OOP language. Next one, multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means there are different types of inheritance techniques. Hybrid inheritance, single inheritance. These are different types of inheritance techniques. All inheritance techniques are does not supported by programming languages. So multiple inheritance does not supported by Java and Simula. But multiple inheritance supported by Smalltalk, Eiffel, Ada. Next one, binding. Binding means early binding and late binding. We are discussing later what is early binding and what is late binding. So Java and Simula, all are it supports both early and late binding. Smalltalk supports only late binding. Eiffel supports only early binding. Java again supports both binding techniques. Okay. Next one, genericity. Genericity supported by only OOP, C++ and Eiffel. Remaining all programming languages does not support genericity. Next one, class libraries. What is class library? A library contains different functions, different predefined functions. Okay, for example, in C programming, we have different library functions, stdio.h, math.h, like that. In C++ also we have some library functions. We discuss later what are those. Okay. Next, some extended traditional OOP languages. These are basic OOP languages. Next, some developers do some advanced concepts and designed new traditional languages. Objective-C, C++, Charm++, Objective Pascal, Turbo Pascal. These are different versions of some OOP languages. Again, here I am taking properties of OOP languages, encapsulation, inheritance, like that. And these are programming languages. Objective-C. Already you learned only C, not Objective-C. All we know about C, that C does not support any object concepts, but earlier latest versions of C also supports some objective concepts like encapsulation. Encapsulation property supported by Objective-C, C++, Charm++, Objective Pascal, Turbo C. What is encapsulation? What is encapsulation? Roll number 39. 39 unnara? Roll number 39. Roll number 39. Roll number 73. Roll number 73. Roll number 73. Okay, no one responding. I think no one is there. So, sir, absent for 73. Okay. Encapsulation means binding up of data and functions into a single unit called encapsulation. Encapsulation provides security using access specifiers like public, private, and protected. Okay. Next, inheritance. Inheritance means deriving properties from one to another. Thus, property supported by Objective-C, C++, Jam++, Pascal, Turbo Pascal. Next, multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance supported by C++, but Java does not support multiple inheritance. That is the advantages of C++. Okay. Next one, polymorphism. Polymorphism means poly, multiple. Okay. One operator or one function used to n number of using same name we are performing multiple operations. That is nothing but polymorphism. Okay. Next one, binding. Binding concept supported by C, C++, Jam++. Okay. Next, genericity. Genericity supported by C++ and Jam++. Remaining languages does not support genericity. Next, class libraries. Each programming language have different types of class libraries to perform multiple operations, different operations. Next, garbage collection supported by C language only, C and Objective Pascal. We don't know what is Objective Pascal, what is Turbo Pascal. So we know about C language and C++. Python also support inheritance, I think so, sir. Pawan sir.
Yes, madam. Python
Yes,
supports
yes.
inheritance.
Yes. Python also, OOP language, Python also supports inheritance concept. These are different object-oriented languages. Next, some examples for OOP languages. C++. C++ is a OOP language which supports classes, objects, reusability, polymorphism, binding, templates, etc. Next one, Smalltalk. Smalltalk also OOP language. It supports dynamic objects. Dynamic objects means we can allocate memory at runtime. In C also we have some functions to allocate memory at runtime. What are they? The concept is dynamic memory allocation in pointers concept. CLlock, RealLock, MLlock, using those functions we can allocate memory at runtime. Smalltalk also supports dynamic memory allocation. Okay. Next one. Smalltalk allocates memory at runtime, and once our task is completed, that memory also deleted. Once object is deleted, memory also deleted. Next one, Charm++. Charm++ supports same as C++. It supports all concepts of OOP, inheritance, polymorphism, binding, war loading. It mainly used in parallel programming. Parallel programming means we can share data from a common memory. Can share from a common memory. Already you studied about star topology. In star topology, we have a hub. From that hub, we can share data. Uh, Charm++ also supports that type of technology and networking. Next, Java. Java supports OOP concepts, but does not support some concepts. There is some limitations for Java, but Java is useful for internet programming. For example, we have login, Gmail login. We have to give username, password, and then you can press submit. All these are created using JavaScript concepts. So Java is called internet programming. So Java programs are downloaded by clients as well as servers. That is nothing but called client server programming also. Okay. Java does not support pointers concept. Only C and C++ supports pointers concept. Next one, how to create and execute a C++ program. Up to now, we see what is object-oriented technology, what are the key concepts, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. So now we are going to learn how to create a C++ program. First, anyone tell me what is the structure of C program? What is the structure of C program? In C program, first starts with library functions, again main function, in main local variables and global variables. Then we can write any executable statements. Yes. Yes, that is the nothing but structure of C program. And how to compile a C, how to create a C program? What are the steps? Roll number 41. Roll number 41. How to create a C program? Roll number 41. Are you there? Roll number 41. Roll number 41. Forty-one. 41, call me after class come. Okay?
44 has joined the class but not responding.
41, sir. 41 not responding. Okay. In C program, how to write, how to start a C program? First, vi space filename.c, which is used to create a new file or to open an existing file. Once the file is opened, we can write some code. Next, save that file. How to save that file? In Linux,
మ్యామ్ స్క్రీన్ షేర్ అవుతుంది
అవ్వట్లేదా? వైట్ బోర్డ్ కనిపించట్లేదా?
లేదు మ్యామ్, అంటే లోడ్ అవుతుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే, I will share it. ఇప్పుడు
ఎస్ మ్యామ్ అవుతుంది మ్యామ్, వచ్చింది. ఎస్ మ్యామ్ వచ్చింది మ్యామ్.
vi space filename.c is used to create a new file or to open an existing file. Once the file is opened, you have to write some code. After that, save that code, save file. Okay. Next one, After save, compile program. Compile program. What is the purpose of compiling? What is the purpose of compiling?
Check the errors, ma'am.
To check the errors in a given program. Compiler first converts high level language into low level language, then identify the errors in a given program. Okay. Next, after compilation, it creates executable file to find the output. Okay. Object file created. Object file is concatenated with some library files. Then it gives an executable file to present output. Okay. Like that in C++ also. PPT కనిపిస్తుందమ్మా?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So, what are the different steps for execution of a program? First, write the code, open an editor and write the code and save it. Compile the program with compiler. Okay. Next, after compilation, it creates object file .obj file. That obj file is linked with some library files to create an executable file. That executable file we can run and get the output. Same process. Okay. Next one. See this diagram. Is it visible? Hello?
Visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. First, open any text editor. Are you doing any programs in Linux in our lab? Using Linux operating system.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, you can. Already I told you vi space filename.c to open a new file. That is nothing but here open any text editor, write code. After opening a file, you can write any code. After completion of writing code, you can save the file with name .cpp. In C, same file name .c with .c extension, in Python .py. Like that in CPP, we can save the file name with extension cpp. .cpp. After saving file, we can compile the program. Compiler translates high level language into low level language. That is nothing but in terms of zeros and ones. And check the code and check the binary code. Is there any errors, any syntax errors or any errors? If there is any errors, again back to the file and open file and do some modifications and then again compile. Again check. If in this time you don't have any errors, it creates a .obj file. That obj file is linked with some library files. Then it creates an .exe file. That exe file we can run and get the output. ./a.out. ./a.out. That is nothing but run the program to see output. These are different steps to create a new program and execution. Any doubts? Tomorrow onwards, let us see what is the structure of C++ program. Anyone, you have any doubts, ask me. 49.
Ma'am.
49.
Yes, ma'am.
What is OOT technology?
Contains both the data and the instructions, ma'am. That
That
works
is
on
nothing but encapsulation. Yes, object also contains data and member function. But what is object-oriented technology?
It's a software design, ma'am. Contains both the data and the instructions.
Data and instructions. What is the difference between data and instruction? Both are same. I think so. Both are same. Data and instructions. Object-oriented technology, very close to the real world. Use it to solve the problems very easily. It has a clear structure. Okay. Next, anyone? If you have any doubts, call me or message me. Okay. That's enough for today. Thank you. Thank you all. Pawan sir, thank you.
Madam, lateral entry 18 series 71. Please stay back. Lateral entry 18 series 71.
71.
18 series 71 lateral entry.
Okay.
అతను జాయిన్ అయ్యాడు మేడం క్లాస్.
మార్నింగ్ కూడా వచ్చాడు సార్ తను.
సైన్ అవుట్ అయిపోయినట్టున్నాడు.
ఉన్నాడు సార్. 71 18 సిరీస్ 71
18 సిరీస్ 71.
హలో
హలో
రోల్ నెంబర్ 71 18 సిరీస్ 71.
మేడం
ఓకే హి ఇస్ నాట్ రెస్పాండింగ్ సార్. ఓకే
మేడం ఒక్కసారి నాకు షేరింగ్ ఇస్తారా?
ఓకే సార్.
కో హోస్ట్ ఇస్తే ఐ షల్ ఓపెన్ పీపీటీ వన్స్.
ఓకే సార్.
మేడం షేర్ చేస్తున్నాను.
చేయండి సార్.
వచ్చిందా మేడం మీకు?
వచ్చింది సార్. ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది.
క్లాస్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వచ్చింది మేడం. ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ.
బాయ్ సార్. బాయ్.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.